That was you guys in that case. If I remember correctly, it was your goal. I remember this specifically about you in 2005. You said you were not down with a single drum edit being on that record.
Yeah. No,
I don't know if you remember this. You didn't allow a drum
I
edit.
definitely remember. Trust me.
And you did, and like you had better takes that we didn't use specifically because you were like, nah, I fucked up that one part, so you want it one take start to finish each song. And I think no click track, right? So like it was just like,
and no click track.
It had to be all one like that.
How do you record with no click track? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm wondering that.
You recorded most of your records with no click track.
No, but I mean from an engineer standpoint, you know?
Like, engineering standpoint, it's my favorite way to record it, and also a challenge. But like it's a challenge if you're gonna not live track the basics, but like I fucking love throwing a band now that I have a big enough studio to do it. Like you've been a part of it recently. Like, you know, if I can get a live take where the band's playing together, it's still kind of an unbeatable thing to me. Like if I could do that and they could play really good, a lot of the bands I'm recording, especially in like tech death, like they're playing stuff they can't really play up to studio good, and so like that's a whole different.
Called
scenario.
out, dude, called out.
I will not hesitate to call out half that's low, 90% of these like hyper technical death metal bands that, you know, and there's something to that too. I used to just think it was like gross and I didn't like being part of it, but now I'm like, well, no, you're making a product to aspire to. Like playing wise, and a lot of those bands can deliver the goods live, or at least 95% of it.
Yeah.
And then there's the ones that come in just like that I hate for the rest of my life because they come in like with stuff that's like literally 80 beats per minute faster than they could ever humanly play it.
Yeah.
And that still drives me nuts. It's not my scene, and I don't really want to be a part of it. That's really what it comes down to.
All right, well, we're gonna end it there.
End of there.
No, I totally.
That's the thing I like about Entheos. You guys have never like brought something to me that you couldn't play or any dog shit like that.
Yeah, I mean that's never been the point for us, is to be like this hyper tech band, which is weird because I think that a lot of people anticipated our band being that way, like making super tech stuff, or anticipated that our band would sound a little differently just because. Yeah. You know, they thought we'd be Animosity, or they thought you'd
be Flesh Rot, or like whatever.
Exactly, which isn't, you know, we're a different band than that. But I totally agree with you. That type of music is what draws me in, stuff that is humanly possible and emotive. And I find that in a lot, I'm not going to say every technical band, but in a lot of those bands, it's like missing some human element. That
absolutely. I mean, that's the thing that always makes a good record in that genre too. Some of my favorite records I've done you asked about click track, maybe like one of my favorite like tech death records that's like fully in that tech death genre that I still enjoy to this day is that Odious Mortem record, Cryptic Implosion, I think it's called. And like that record, no click track. That's just Casey going in there, hammering the songs out, do a few drum edits, go on to layer bass, guitar, vocal, done. Super organic sounding record, and then like it was just great doing that style of like tech death, and I like that a lot more than like completely mapped out click track. We got to quantize out the drums, we got to make everything super perfect. Sometimes that works great too, but like I'd prefer it to be like what people played, not some like I'm into, I mean, I have origins in computer music, so it's like I've heard enough of that. I don't want to hear like just a souped up Guitar Pro thing. So I want to really get real things going.
I mean, I think there's definitely something to be said for music that's like hyper inhuman. It's kind of
absolutely
it takes on its own form, and it's something different than the organic feel.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like sometimes I'm in the mood to hear something that's just like super fake and
I think that
crazy. I want to hear that just because it's like audio porn.
Yeah, it's a thing that you just have to kind of take for what it is, I guess. And most of the time, it's not my favorite.
Yeah, I mean,
just even taking it for.
I know what Zach likes the natural vibe.
Yeah, totally.
It doesn't have to be. And to be clear, I'm not trying to go over the top here with this. Like, for example, you were bringing up Chase. I mean, his band Continuum, their new record, that's like right in the sweet spot for me too for this tech death stuff because they all really play the stuff. Like there's not actually that much drum editing on that record, for example. And like, it's all still pretty hyper technical.
Yeah.
They just deliver the goods.
Yeah,
Totally.
you're right about that sweet spot. There's just a sweet spot where their tech bands. Continuum is a really good example of bands that I really like because I can listen to it and hear a band, as opposed to when I hear like Naveen listens to some super like hyper edited guitar stuff sometimes, and I just don't hear a band behind it, and I think it turns me off because I can go and listen to a lot of like cool electronica if I want to hear that vibe. But I understand why it exists and why people are into it. It's more for...
That's what I'm saying. Like sometimes at a certain point in my life, I was like, if it sounded like a band, I didn't want to listen to it.